having said all that, I hope that wasn't too confusingly said, there's a plan of subdivision for open space A. It's an application by the township. It's presented tonight for board consideration. The sewage planning waiver, waiver of subdivision code, and preliminary and final approval have all been recommended forward by the Lower Frederick Township Planning Commission. So the items to consider tonight are, number one, a non-building waiver application for sewage planning. So this is a form that is submitted to DEP that affirms that this subdivision of open space does not generate any new wastewater flows. So that would be an action by the board, and then the board would sign this form. The second thing that the board would consider is a waiver of section 145.18A3C of the subdivision code. That waiver would allow this plan to be processed as a minor subdivision, even though by our code it can't, because it's been part of an approved subdivision in the past 5 years. We're waiving the part that says we can't do that because it's been a subdivision in the past 5 years. And then last but not least would be preliminary and final approval contingent upon receipt of sewage planning waiver from DEP. The solicitor has prepared a resolution on that. I don't know if you want to deal with that now or during the solicitor's report.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to do it now because we want to have this in writing. So those approvals that Carol just talked about, they're contained within the resolution for conditional preliminary and final subdivision approval.
I have a couple questions. So this non-building waiver and the other thing about the stormwater. So non-building means no fences, no tree cutting, no sheds.
No.
What does it mean and what does it not mean?
Oh, my pleasure. The non-building waiver simply means that we are not putting something on there that will generate sewage, that it's open space. We're not placing any facilities on there that generate sewage. So whenever you do a subdivision by the municipality's planning code, you have to do sewage planning, and this is a way to get a waiver from sewage planning because we're not putting houses here, we're not generating sewage.
Okay, thank you.
So resolution for conditional preliminary final subdivision approval.
As articulated by the township engineer. This will be resolution 2019-14.
I have one more question. Yes. Is this the end of this issue?
I hope so.
Not quite, but there.
Yeah, we're
Well, just a slight administrative thing. We're going with dividing that open space that was going to be dedicated to the township anyway, so that we can fulfill the requirement of the state that we have an appraiser take a look at one of those parcels, subdivided parcels, and say, that's of equal value to that which the township building was for. And then that should be it, right, Karen?
And then that all goes into DCNR, and hopefully, I mean, we've been working with them through each step, so hopefully when it gets to DCNR, they accept all that we've done, and that will close the update.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any questions? A vote?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the next item on my report is a recommendation for final payment for the chip seal work. The final payment is in the amount of $19,644.21. It's provided tonight for board consideration and accompanied by a summary sheet and a certificate, the contractor's invoice, and also the contractor's project maintenance bond.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? A vote?
Aye.
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 Next item is another payment recommendation. This is to Associated Rehabilitation Technology in the amount of $23,882.24. It's provided for board consideration. The recommendation is accompanied by a summary sheet, a certificate, and the contractor's invoice. This represents 95% of the value of work completed. We were awaiting receipt of the maintenance bond to recommend the last 5%. That actually did come in the mail, but this recommendation was already out. So tonight we're recommending payment in the amount of $23,882.24 to Associated Rehabilitation Technology.
Now, is this payment part of the grant we got?
You will get reimbursed 85% of this from the grant program. Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? A vote?
Aye.
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 The next item is simply informational. In October, Manager Mark Hudson and I met with Michael Sullivan of the Schwenksville Borough Authority and their engineer to discuss the feasibility of installing water lines in Fulmer Road, where the township proposes to extend sanitary sewer lines. We were advised at that meeting that water line extension is infeasible at this time. Mr. Sullivan relayed to us that limited usage of the main extension would make it difficult to maintain the DEP mandated chlorine levels throughout the distribution system. He further advised that limited usage may present issues with exceedances of disinfection byproducts that are regulated by the Safe Water Drinking Act. Lastly, he noted that unless the township implemented a mandatory connection ordinance, the authority would have little chance of recouping the construction costs for water main installation. So I bring that forward because I know there was some question about whether or not it was appropriate to try to add water lines when the sewer line is going in. And I wanted to let the board know that we did reach out to Schwenksville Borough Authority to get an answer on that. Now, on a similar topic, DCED recently announced open applications for certain grant programs, and one is called the H2O program, which provides up to 50% grant funding for construction of drinking water, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer projects. Eligible projects are those which cost more than $500,000 and less than $20 million. We have been assembling the documents required for this application to submit an application for funding for the sewer collection system extension that's proposed out in Fulmer Road and Riverside. The due date for this grant is December 13th, and a resolution is required that's been presented tonight for your consideration.
I'll make a resolution on it.
Second.
Question? A vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. DCED also announced open applications for the Small Water and Sewer Program Grant. This grant provides up to 85% funding for construction of drinking water, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer projects that cost between $30,000 and $500,000. Proposed projects must comply with current regional, county, and local planning. This is the same program that we just lined manholes with. So the township is assembling an application to obtain funding for video inspection of sanitary sewer mains and manholes and to repair identified leaks. We've compiled the documents for this application, also due December 13th. The board might recall that in past meetings we talked about getting the system video inspected. It's been over a decade since that was done. We got one section done already. We broke the township into 5 sections in a memorandum I provided. So this would be to do another section and repair some of the leaks that are found. Again, this application requires a resolution by the board, and that's before you tonight for your consideration.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any questions? A vote?
Aye.
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 And the last item on my report tonight is that a sludge hauling contract was bid in 2017 that contains an annual renewal clause for up to 3 years. That expires on February 15th, 2020. So it's time to get new prices and a contract for future sludge hauling. If so authorized, we will update the documents to advertise and put out for bid, so sludge removal may be contracted for coming years. This is removal of sludge from the wastewater treatment plant, and this also covers the cleaning of the pump stations, cleaning out of the wet wells of the pump stations.
There's a motion needed for this.
I believe it would be a motion to direct me to update the documents and for the township to advertise the bid.
question maybe for Mark. Is this bid based on our current sludge hauling requirements? What if they change?
Well, our current requirements, we pretty much know now, so they've actually went up since this contract was started, and they didn't change. So we're hoping with the fortunate higher utilization of sludge hauling that maybe the contract will come down a little.
Okay, thank you.
Also move.
I'll second.
Any questions?
A question, Bill Governor. In this contract, is it a percentage, the ticketing would be 1%, 2%, 3%, if you go over a certain amount, it will cost more? How is that working?
That was in fact in the 2017 contract. There was a maximum percentage of 5% solids. And so, yes, there would be, we can actually get them to give us a separate quote for something higher than 5 should that occur. I think that did occur once in this past calendar year.
One other question. Do we decide whether we're going to let other people dump sludge into that sewer treatment plant, or is that?
No, we're not.
Okay, so we got control over that. Okay, thanks.
Bob?
Bob Burns, Israelville Road. Is there a estimate, Carol, you can tell us for your work to prepare these documents and whatnot, and not to exceed number for that?
Some little update and get it out on pen bid. And to actually get it up and advertised, about $2,400 would be not to exceed to get it up and advertised. We usually hold a pre-bid meeting so that people can come talk to us, and then bid opening and review and such. But to actually get the documents prepared and get it up and out for advertisement on pen bid and not to exceed $2,400.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question? Well, we're going to have to research the current rates of hauling, the current percent of solids, and then update all the documents. I believe it would be less than 3 days worth of work, and also get it up on pen bid, and also get the advertisement out in the newspaper. So I certainly believe it would be less than 3 days worth of work for me to do that. That's why I'm doing it.
Any more questions on it? A vote, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Aye. Township staff reports. Police, engineer, you got that?
During the month of October, there were 314 calls for service, 268 incidents responded to by Lower Frederick Police, 46 incidents were covered by the state police. They continue to do traffic enforcement on a regular basis.
Roadmaster?
For the month of October, we finished the top fill around the driveway at the sewer plant. We got potholes. We did 6 sewer inspections. The frame of the lid was replaced on the manhole in front of Moses. And we put the no truck sign up for PennDOT at Yerga Road at the intersection of Durlock and Yerga.
Thank you. Township manager? Oh, I'm sorry.
Question regarding the police report. I was wondering, I'm sorry, Brian Miller, 11 Ziegler Road. Thank you. Going forward, I'd be curious to know the increase in tickets given on Main Street, Zieglerville Road, and Spring Mountain Road with regards to the other in the observation to see whether or not we are seeing more stops in that area and if it's actually working. So I don't know if that's something that we can incorporate in the report, because those are the target areas per se within our township. Is that possible? No, I don't need that tonight, but I'm just saying, going forward, is that something that we can look at? Just to make sure that we're seeing, that the public is seeing these stops, we're seeing an increase, and hopefully people will get the picture and driving through those areas. Speeding is not an option.
Okay, what were the 3 roads again?
So Spring Mountain, Main Street, and Ziegler Road are the target areas.
Okay, let me talk to the chief next.
I appreciate it, just so we get a sense.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, Jim Ford, Second Avenue. I have a question for the road in Second Street or Second Avenue, whatever you're calling it these days. Is that going to be addressed at any time? Because you've already did the chipping, right? But Second Avenue wasn't in that. There's potholes all over the place. You know, we actually built them in. We're trying to solve it a lot of times. But is that road going to be addressed? As far as repair.
We're going to patch it for the winter, and it's scheduled to be paid next year.
Will the signs go up like it is up on Park on the street? Because that's even a concern in the firehouse.
I wasn't aware of that parking here.
And the trash can get in the get.
Yeah, that wasn't what my opinion.
It is, it's true. We've had incidents where the fire department can get down. We've had incidents where ambulance can get down because a car is parked on that street, Second Avenue. And the trash companies, they have to go around because they can do it. So, that's the best.
All right.
Yeah, can you see me afterwards, or just see Tom and give him your information, maybe we can meet you out there?
Sure. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Leo Swanson, 101 River Road. The no truck signs. Has anybody been arrested yet for violating those signs?
I don't think they can do anything yet, because I don't believe PennDOT put theirs up, so it's not advertised in like a road.
Their sign has been up for quite a while. So.
No, the sign I'm talking about is.
I know which one you're talking about.
The one
The other one's coming down. Has
Oh,
anybody
that I
been
have
arrested?
that, I don't have that information.
Because they violate it every day. I mean, everybody's talking about it.
Excuse me, sir. What was your name again?
Swanson,
First name?
Leo,
Thank you. And your address?
101 River Road.
Yorker. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Yes, Mark.
Warren Jacobs, Fulmer Road. To go along with Rita's question, have we ever defined what types of trucks are being prohibited from Burlock Road? We discussed that earlier when the ordinance was first passed. There's no accurate definition and nothing on the sign that says whether it's just banning 2-axle truck or a weight limit truck or anything like that. It just has a picture of a truck.
I don't think there was at the time. When
There wasn't, and we talked about making a definition. Did it ever happen?
It did not.
Is that girl that you said?
Yes.
Right.
Mark, can you look at that, because there should be, if we put the sign, it should be.
No, we put truck signs on to stop the trucks from coming down across.
We did that with Liberty Township as well.
Yes, go to check with them and see if they have a
They
way
did the truck
set up on their end.
And then we're going to need an ordinance passed, if we don't have one yet, that has a specific restriction in order to be able to enforce it.
Right.
So, I think probably first stop is the
Tom,
chief.
are you aware where we're at? You're aware where we're at?
Yeah. We can square it away more.
All right.
Any other questions? Township manager.
Okay, we're losing one of our public works employee, Ray, after 12 years. So I wanted to get the will of the board to go out to hire a new public works labor crewman so that we are hopefully prepared for the winter.
We want to make a motion to advertise. Motion.
I'll second.
Any questions?
Avenue, is that quote going to apply for the CDL license also?
Yes.
Yes.
On Burns and River Road, is it possible to put in for a part-timer as well, or a couple of part-timers, so that we have backup CDL drivers that are available for the snowplow? It's all spread for that dump truck since that is a CDL vehicle.
Yeah, we have a plan for the winter to get through with other,
If you know anybody on CDL who is willing to apply, we would be I get to have anyone with a CDL apply.
Any other questions? Yeah, no? Any questions? Yes, we got that. Vote. Aye. Aye. And B.
All right, at the 2020 initial budget presentation for Township, up here on the wall, so everybody can see it, try to get it as high as possible. Today is November 6th, the manager's budget presentation. On November 26th, the board will tentatively adopt the 2020 budget. On November 27th, the budget will be available for public review here at the Township building. And then on December 17th, the final adoption of the 2020 budget will occur. General fund. Taxes, total taxes paid by residents on a home assessed in Lower Frederick Township at $128,157 is $5,115. Of that, the Perkins School District gets 84% of that, so they get $4,321. Their village is at 33.72. The county has a millage of 3.849, about 9.64% of the tax dollars. And Lower Frederick Township has a millage of 2.35, or 5.89%. So the Lower Frederick taxes is $301 on the average house. Just another way to look at that, a chart. Same information. The average household tax in Lower Frederick is $301. Of that $301, $241 goes to the township, $34 goes to the fire company, and $26 goes to the ambulance. Currently, the township revenue is relatively flat. We're restricted on our revenue sources. We can't add much in the way of like hotel taxes, any of that kind of stuff. We, along with everyone else, are seeing a reduction in the cable TV franchise fees. As people get rid of cable TV, everyone goes to Netflix and that kind of stuff. You lose those monies that you get from Verizon and Comcast. We are seeing a bump in the earned income tax. It's increasing slowly, and we're seeing an increase in permit fees. Our revenue